So this death by a thousand paper cuts can be very, very hard to pinpoint in your relationship. How can one know when they're in an abusive relationship, a psychologically abusive relationship?
Yeah, so if you're in a covertly abusive relationship, it could actually be difficult to pinpoint that you are in an abusive dynamic. And that's because, I think just as a society, for one, like covert abuse is hard to pinpoint, but also as a society, we're very misinformed and undereducated about what constitutes emotional, psychological abuse, coercive control, like all of these more covert forms of abuse that maybe don't have like the yelling, the screaming, the name calling, the physical abuse that are very overt forms of aggression and obvious forms of abuse, right? So sometimes when I say like, how do you know you're in an abusive relationship, is like, how do you feel around your partner? And there's two like real major ways of like how do you feel around your partner. And one is if you feel small, if you feel diminished, and that's something that I experienced. Is like I felt smaller around my partner. He made me feel small. And it's because what they're doing, what the abuser is doing, is they're manufacturing an environment where they're the authority. And they are like, they're really just creating a power imbalance within the relationship. And that is really the cornerstone of all abusive dynamics is power and control. Just really like if there is a power imbalance within the relationship, that is a huge like differentiation between like a toxic relationship maybe, or like you guys are in a fight where there's equal like footing versus like an abusive dynamic. And the second one is like anxiety and fear and hypervigilance are all indicators of toxicity and abuse happening within the relationship. So if you are with your partner and you feel anxious or you're afraid of your partner, that's a huge red flag, right? So you are either anxious of like what they might say, they're going to criticize you in some way, what they may do, or you are afraid of your partner. And that can be like before you understand what the term walking on eggshells is. Really, it's just being anxious and fearful around your partner and having like hypervigilance around your partner. Um, and like anxiety could be for me, I was just afraid of being criticized. I wasn't sure like what he was going to say or do next. So I, made sure that the house was always clean and stuff like that because I didn't want to be criticized. And then, the other thing is like with fear, you're not sure, like, for example, if you're afraid of like when your partner is coming home from work because you're not sure whether you're going to get the Dr. Jekyll or the Mr. Hyde. Huge red flag, huge indicator that you are with somebody that is like emotionally up and down and you have to placate them and you're just not sure, you're afraid of their emotional reactions and outbursts.